Hello, my royal lovelies, and welcome back. Or rather, that should be, I'm coming back. So, if you didn't know, I have been poorly the past couple of weeks, and I've spent almost 2 weeks in hospital. I've been out for a week now, and the medication I was on was making me slur my words and stumble over my words, which I'm still feeling a little bit of an effect of now. So, if you notice a little bit of difference in my speech, it's the tablets. I was on 18 antibiotics a day. Right, we need to have a little bit of a kiki. In other words, we need a big catch up because there was plenty of royal news going on whilst I was in the hospital. So today I'll just run you through what I want to talk about, what's coming up. Obviously, there is the news about Queen Camilla's health. I want to talk about Lady Louise and what I think should have happened on her 21st birthday. Obviously, the Prince Andrew Royal Lodge saga completely continues. Harry and Meghan's video message, that needs unpicking. And the really weird, strange story that came out that Meghan went home from hospital after delivering Archie after 2 hours. I find that absolutely incredible, and we'll get to that in a moment. So, first of all, Queen Camilla. Now, we had notice a few days ago a health update from the palace, basically saying that she'd got a chest infection. That's how my illness started with a chest infection. So there's definitely things, bugs, germs, diseases going around. Mine progressed to pneumonia. So I think the palace is taking all the precautions to make sure that she's treated. I mean, I wish I'd been treated at the chest infection stage before it went to pneumonia. So I think that will be the concern of her medics. So I think she is completely 100% right to stay away from people, to stay away from the cold, and just get herself better. I imagine she's on antibiotics, as I was. Probably not as many as me. But anyway, I really hope that she gets better. It was announced that she will be marking the occasion privately at home. So let's just see exactly what the palace said. So it said, following doctor's guidance to ensure a full recovery from a seasonal chest infection and to protect others from any potential risk, she must be infectious, Her Majesty will not attend this weekend's Remembrance events. While this is a source of great disappointment to the Queen and me, because I like to see Camilla's hats, they're gorgeous. I always love to see what brooches she's wearing. She will mark the occasion privately at home and hopes to return to public duties early next week. So there is hope that she's going to return really quickly. So I don't think this is, as serious as my illness turned out to be. So it's understood there's no cause for alarm and no downturn in her condition. The Queen is said to be mindful of minimising the risk of passing any last lingering infection to others, which I think is very, very wise. And I'm sure she's spending time recuperating at home with the dogs. Maybe she can't have any alcohol because of the antibiotics. So she's definitely not drinking. Time with the dogs, time at home, and reading. She loves to read, so I'm sure she's getting stuck into a really, really good book. Now, the person that we can expect to see, however, is of course the Princess of Wales, our lovely Catherine. I can't wait to see, again, it's going to be a black outfit. We know it's going to be a black outfit. It's Remembrance Sunday at the Cenotaph. But I want to see what sort of hat she's wearing. Is it a black Remembrance Sunday outfit that she's reworn? Is it a brand new one? Will she be wearing a brooch as well as the cluster of poppies? These are all questions that we really want to know. I'm just looking at pictures of, I think it was last year's. And I remember last year thinking that Catherine didn't look well. And I think I was the only person on the internet that was saying, I don't think she looks well. I didn't know why. I probably put it down to her being a bit tired, it being a very grey November day. And obviously it turned out that she wasn't very well. So I did kind of pick up on that in November. So I'm hoping this year now, when we get to see her, there'll be a bit of a transformation. But it's been a tough year. Prince William said, this has been the hardest year of his life. One of the hardest years of his life, because of course, the 1997, when he lost his mother, would have been a horrific year. But I think since then, this has been the worst year of his life, that he's had to kind of push through and get through. Oh, I did also want to talk about royal finances while we're on the subject of William, because there was a Dispatches documentary that came out. Now, I watched it, and I don't know how I stopped myself from turning it off after 10 minutes. What an absolute hit piece it was. It was absolutely dreadful. They were trying to make something of nothing. Let's not forget that the Duchy of Cornwall and the King's Duchy of Lancaster are sanctioned by law to be a business that make money. The aim of it, the whole sole purpose of it, is to make money to finance partly finance the sovereign and the heir to the throne's activities, i.e. the Duke of Cornwall. So there isn't anything underhand, there isn't anything dirty, there isn't any trickery. It's a commercial business. And yes, they charge the National Health Service to rent out space or store ambulances or whatever, as they would do anybody else. The NHS factors in to its costs all these different things. It's part of the budget. So Dispatches tried to make out that it was some sort of underhand, dodgy dealings going on. It wasn't. It absolutely is not. Everything is above board. Everything is. The government run the National Health Service, so the government know that they are paying that money to the Duchy of Cornwall. So everything is, above board. And that documentary just got me really, 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 really angry. I managed to watch it all the way through, but it was a hit piece from the start. You could tell that they went in with a narrative. The music they were playing was like ominous music. It was such an absolute hit piece. So give it a watch if you want to, but I do think it's not good. Let's put it that way. Right, Lady Louise Windsor turned 21 a few days ago on November the 8th. So I want to say a really, 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 really big happy birthday to Lady Louise. She is a royal that it's been on my radar ever since she was little. And I think that's because she looks facially a lot like Queen Elizabeth II. I've always thought that she looked almost a spitting image. If she had dark hair in Queen Elizabeth's kind of, that wavy style, I think she would look an absolute spitting image of Her late Majesty. I've also loved, to see her grow up and take on carriage driving. Of course, a love of Prince Philip, the former Duke of Edinburgh. So I've really been interested in how she's growing up and what she's doing. Of course, she's studying at St Andrews University currently. Last year, it was reported she had a job at a garden centre. She's got a boyfriend. So she's enjoying life. She's enjoying life. Now, the one thing... Oh, and she's studying English as well. So, she's got a few brains as well. So, beauty, brains, technically a princess. What more could you want? Your uncle is king. So yeah, she's got everything. She's got everything going for her, and I wish her the best in life. I really do. So very, very, very happy birthday. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. So the palace wished her a happy birthday on social media, and I was thinking to myself, They addressed her as Lady Louise. Wouldn't it have been absolutely fantastic if they had addressed her as Her Royal Highness Princess Louise of Edinburgh? That would have made my day. 20, turning 21, so I'm stumbling over my words again. It's the medication. Turning 21 would be the perfect opportunity to adopt those royal styles and titles that she is entitled to under the George V Convention. So, as we know, up until currently, she has chosen not to take up her style. But she is technically an HRH and she is technically a princess. I think 21 would have been the perfect opportunity to adopt it. And the palace birthday announcement would have been the perfect way to announce it. Let me know what you think about that, of course. Now, let's take a look at Prince Andrew and Royal Lodge. Oh my goodness, this saga just keeps on keeping on. And to be honest, I'm a little bit sick and tired of it by this point. It's obvious that the media and the palace want Andrew out of Royal Lodge. The problem is that he has a watertight lease, 75-year lease, that's still got, probably, 40, 50 years left on the lease. So the lease will outlive Andrew, basically. And it was revealed for the first time this week. I think some journalists have seen some documentation. It was always assumed that there was a maintenance clause. Now I think we have proof that there is a maintenance clause. And I've seen estimates that maybe there's like £7 million worth of repairs. I think that's a little bit wild. I don't think it's 7 million. I think it's a lot less. Because we have to remember that when he first moved in, he spent about 7 million on refurbishments at that point, and he covered that cost as well as the £1 million up front. So he's already spent quite a lot of money on the home. Now, I'm not one for sort of pushing people out of their homes. What we do have to realise is that this is Prince Andrew's home. This is where he lives, where he chooses to live, but it's expensive. And probably from a financial point of view, we now know that the king has cut off his security costs. We know any sort of personal allowance has now been cut off. The Duke of York receives no money from the king. So Andrew has not got a job that we know of in terms of royal life. But it was revealed, Andrew kind of hit back at all of this by saying basically he's using, I suppose, his contacts from when he was foreign trade envoy to do private business deals. Now, we do not know what they are. I have no idea what he could be doing to make money. One hopes that he's not selling access, because Andrew and Sarah have been found out in the past selling access, which would be a bit of a scandal. So I don't know what he's doing. If anyone does know what he's doing or hears anything, do let me know. But I haven't heard anything. So sounds a little bit dodgy to me. But he's come forward and said, I have got the money to do the maintenance. So let's see if he puts his money where his mouth is. Commercially, it is said that the king wants to rent out Royal Lodge for £1 million a year. I'm not entirely certain that would happen. I think if Royal Lodge was vacated, it would probably go to William and Catherine and the children. Also, I do think that Prince Andrew should make the economic decision to move out, just because it is literally cheaper. And he genuinely doesn't need all that space. I wouldn't move into Frogmore Cottage personally. I just wouldn't. But there are plenty of other royal properties on various estates owned by the royal family that he could move to. I think he maybe should move to Sandringham, and maybe take on Wood Farm, perhaps. But that's just my 2 pennies worth. Now, Harry and Meghan. Oh my goodness. Just when you thought it was safe, Edward and Wallace pop up, don't they? Yeah. They are very similar to Edward and Wallace. There she is wearing her royal poppy. You know it's a royal poppy because it's got 5 little, notches on it. So a nod to royalty. Oh, Meghan. There she is wearing her blazer, poppy. Harry is the accoutrement on the side. My goodness, what did she say? While the necessity has always been apparent, it is now time to translate that awareness into meaningful action. We've seen their brand of meaningful action in action, or rather non-action, before. Meghan said that while greater connectivity and advanced technology have obvious advantages, they also compel us to better understand how digital violence against children is manifesting itself in 2024. Now, I stand by the cause. The cause is fine, but just Harry and Meghan talking about this kind of thing, they kind of like superimpose themselves on issues. They sort of latch on to other people's work and then try and take credit, and then they get Archie to donate, I don't know, a xylophone or something or some penny chews, and the Sussex squad lap it up. They lap it up like a cat licking cream. I just think they look ridiculous, and it's becoming even more of a joke. They just look quasi-royal, semi-royal, and then they've got this house in Portugal as well. They obviously want a foothold in Europe. They don't want to touch Britain with a barge pole, which is still crazy, because Harry is perfectly safe in the UK. He's perfectly safe with his own protection, and he's perfectly safe with the protection that is afforded to him when he gives the correct notice to come to the country. Portugal, however, gives them a chance to get this kind of golden visa, close to Princess Eugenie and Jack, gated community, but they've actually got to use the home, and I'm not quite sure how much time they'll be spending in Portugal. However, we now know that the new administration voted in with the US presidential election most recently causes Harry and Meghan a little bit of concern because of the ongoing spat that Meghan started with now President-elect Trump. So regardless of how you voted in the election, the situation for Harry and Meghan is that they find themselves with a president that is doesn't have a very good opinion of them. Meghan started it. She picked on Trump, and then Trump, obviously being Trump, had a bit of a slanging match between the two. So Meghan and Harry might be trying to hot foot out of the US. So maybe they'll be spending a lot more time in Portugal. Who knows? Things could get a little bit hot in the kitchen under the Republicans for Harry and Meghan. So I think she needs to watch her mouth. The problem is she can't take back what she's already said, can she? And also they might be gunning after Harry for his immigration forms as well. So we'll see how that unfolds. Now, the last thing I want to talk about today is this story that Meghan delivered Archie in 2 hours and then went straight home after a C-section. Now, let's put it this way. I want to ask all the mothers out there that have either given birth naturally or had a C-section, could you have gone home 2 hours after that? please let me know, because I'm thinking that sounds absolutely ridiculous and absolutely outrageous. I cannot even conceive that she would have a C-section and then go home 2 hours later, even with medical attention provided at home. I think that would be impossible almost. Please let me know what you think. I think that's just an absolutely ridiculous story. Which obviously adds fuel to the fire about, did she maybe use a surrogate? I don't know. Personally, I have no issue with using a surrogate. I think it's a modern way of having children. However, don't lie about it. Don't lie about it. Don't hide it. Don't try and pass it off as something that it's not. Just be truthful, be honest. And we all know that Harry and Meghan are not truthful and honest. So this story about the going home 2 hours after birth really raises some questions to me. Let me know what you think. I'm really interested to know what mothers of experience of having babies think about that. Right, thank you for watching this video. I've struggled through, stumbling over my words, and it feels like there's a disconnect between my brain and my mouth. I know what I want to say, but it just kind of doesn't come out properly. But my medication is loosening off now, so I'm hoping my voice will be back to full force in the near future. Tomorrow is Remembrance Sunday, so I will make a video on what we see there. Of course, the gorgeous Catherine, Princess of Wales, will be there, and we get to see handsome Big Willie with his lovely, gorgeous beard. So thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and of course do hit that bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me, mwah, to you all my lovies, stay safe and goodbye.